What is up, Packer fans? Back again. Here we are, week 17. The Packers are going on the road to face off against the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings are sitting atop of the division with the Lions. They're both, I think, 13-2. The Packers are 11-4. Packers they'd be first place in most divisions in the league, except for, of course, our division where we sit in third place. But for the Packers, after coming off the first shutout win of the season, 34-0 against the Saints last week at Lambeau, the Packers going on the road, second to last game of the season, going up against the Minnesota Vikings, a team who, going into the season, starting Sam Darnold, there was a lot of question marks. Would he be able to be a starter in this league? Would some of the woes he's had at the Jets and the Panthers come back to haunt him in Minnesota? For the Vikings, he has been great. Sam Darnold has been playing elite. He was even in the MVP conversation early on in the season, kind of midway through the season. And for the Vikings, they sit atop of the division, like I said, tied with the Lions, who are very, very injured. Very, very injured right now. So the Vikings, to me, are the team to beat in the NFC North, with the Lions being so hurt. And then the Eagles are the team to beat in the NFC, since I feel like we can beat the Vikings. We did fall to them 28-0 early on in the season. We made it a 31-29 game, I believe, that it ended. We did have a missed kick, and we did have some chances to win that game. So for the Packers, I think it comes down to starting fast, playing good defense, no turnovers, and having a good kicker. Brandon McManus has solved pretty much all of the Packers' kicking woes. He has missed one kick in a Packer uniform, and that is going to be big moving forward. He kicked that 55-yarder and made it look easy. He just has just an effortless kick when he does go for the field goals and extra points. So for the Packers, though, Sam Darnold, obviously, we're going to have to get after him. It's going to start with making it hard for him to throw, getting pressure on him. But then, obviously, a familiar face for Packer fans. They have Aaron Jones. He's had one of his best statistical seasons in the NFL. They've used him in the pass game and the run game. They do have Cam Akers and Ty Chandler to back him up, so they've been able to spell him a little bit, keep him healthy. He has not gotten majorly injured throughout the season. And for the Vikings, he's played really well. So we know a lot about Aaron Jones. We know he's kind of a scat back, pretty quick, but kind of undersized. He is tough to tackle. So Packers are going to have to figure out what they can do against them and against Aaron Jones in the running game. But on the outside, obviously, they have Justin Jefferson, Jay Jettas, they have Jordan Addison, they have Jalen Naylor, who's okay, but then they have TJ Hawkinson, who's a all-pro, big-time tight end, who's starting to come back after being injured. And then the offensive line, they have Bradbury at the center and O'Neal at right tackle. So these guys, they have a solid offensive line, a solid offense in general. Obviously, one of the top receivers in the league in Justin Jefferson, if not the best receiver in the league right now. And then, obviously, to go along with Jordan Addison, who's really a big playmaker, and then have Aaron Jones. The Vikings have a lot of firepower on offense, and they've been able to move the ball, score points. Like I said, they went up 28-0 against the Packers the first time around. We did make it a close game at the end there, but the Vikings can score quickly, and the Packers are going to have to keep up and not let the score get out of hand like they did earlier in the season. So for Green Bay, on offense, though, Jordan Love playing great. Another game, no turnovers. He's going to have to keep playing like that. I know some of these passes could be intercepted, and they end up not being. So he's going to have to clean up some of those errant throws. But all in all, Josh Jacobs playing amazing. He is pretty much on pace to end up top 5 all-time in a Green Bay Packer uniform for all-time rushing yards in a season. And for his first year, that's amazing for him. He does have over, 12 touchdowns now. I think he's got 13. But for Josh Jacobs, what a year. Resurgence of the running back in the NFL for Henry and Saquon. And, of course, our guy Josh Jacobs. Really exciting to see him do so well. And then because we were winning so much against the Saints, we were able to bring in Chris Brooks and Emmanuel Wilson, and they both got touchdowns. So our running game is really starting to get going. The offensive line is playing great. Rasheed Walker, you got to shout him out. He is doing great at left tackle. What a position, what a player to make, his mark on this team. A guy, 7th-round pick out of Penn State, didn't really play much his rookie year. Then now he's the starting left tackle for this team. Quite the progress for him. And then, obviously, Elkin Jenkins playing at a Pro Bowl level. Josh Myers playing well at the center. Sean Ryan playing really good at right guard. And then I love how Zach Thomas playing on the right side there at right tackle. So this offensive line pretty much played every game together this year except for one. And that's why this offense is flowing like it has been. Jordan Love, of course, kind of keeping everything going, and then guys like Tucker Kraft making big plays when he's asked, and then Jaden Reed and obviously Dontavian Wicks and Romeo Doubs playing really well. We saw Christian Watson get hurt, but I think he'll be okay. He did practice. They got good news about him, so he might be able to go against the Vikings, but otherwise we're going to have firepower with the other guys. So for the Packers, offense versus offense, I think they're pretty even with the Vikings. They have a lot of firepower. We have a lot of firepower. We have a really good offensive line. They have a really good offensive line. I think our quarterback is better than Darnold, and Darnold's going to have a lot to prove, and hopefully we can get after him, and it starts with defense. So this defense for the Packers held the first shutout of the season against the Saints, 34-0 last week. The Packers defense, 3 sacks, an interception by Zane Anderson, a fumble forced on a blitz by Keyshawn Nixon, and obviously Rashawn Gary got the ball. So Packers defense really playing well, getting after the quarterback, not giving up points, and we don't even have our best coverage corner out there, Jair Alexander. He was out again. Hopefully he'll be back soon. I keep wondering where he's at. He's missed 5 games in a row now, I think, and 8 total this whole season. So, I mean, he could be a guy that's just like, I just want to play in the playoffs, but we do need him against the Vikings this week. It'd be nice to get Jair back in the back end. But Eric Stokes has been playing great. Keyshawn Nixon, like I said, playing really well. Carrington Valentine got his interception a couple weeks ago. He's been playing great as well. And then on the back end, having Xavier McKinney back there doing what he does, making sure everything is great back there. He's been playing awesome. Obviously, we had Javon Bullard go out and Evan Williams go out, so Zane Anderson had to play last week, and he had his first interception. So this Packers secondary playing really well. And then what can we say about these linebackers? We didn't have Quay Walker, but we did have Edgerrin Cooper, and Cooper is the guy. He is the man. He will be the guy moving forward. He's going to be the middle linebacker. Hopefully, I know they have him kind of on the weak side sometimes and just kind of fooling around, but as soon as he really understands the playbook and kind of gets up to speed and can play 70 snaps on defense, he is going to be a force to be reckoned with. I love what this guy brings. His speed and his tenacity and his ability to just read and react is amazing. So for the Packers, what a pick, second-round pick. Edgerrin Cooper out of Texas A&M. What a guy. Looking at him, I thought, he'd had some speed and he could make some plays, but the way that he's really kind of transformed and just taken over as a huge playmaker on this defense, it's been awesome to watch. So for the Packers, going to keep kind of progressing that. Obviously, then you get down to the defensive line. You got Rashawn Gary, you got Lucas Van Ness, you got Brenton Cox Jr., who got another sack, and then you have Kenny Clark and Devontae Wyatt, and then Carl Brooks and Colby Wooden even down low in the middle. So these guys keep wrecking havoc and just keep on putting pressure on the quarterback. Rashawn Gary, you saw him bark after the game. These guys are excited. They're amped up about this team. They see what this defense can do. They see what the offense can do. And obviously, with the special teams, the defense, the kicker's playing great, the punter's playing pretty well. Not any coverage issues on the punt coverage or the kickoff coverage. So all in all, this team is playing really well. This Packers team is hitting its strides when it really matters. I think they probably played one of their best games last week against the Saints. Obviously, the Saints didn't have a lot of their pieces, but you still got to go out there and perform, and the Packers did just that. So on the offensive side of the ball, when Jordan Love has the ball, this going up against this Vikings defense, this Brian Flores defense is what is going to be the catalyst in this whole game. Yes, our offense will be able to move the ball. Yes, their offense will probably be able to move the ball. Yes, our defense will make some stops, and yes, their defense will make some stops. But whose defense will step up when it counts the most? Whose defense is going to be able to really pounce when the time is right, or when it's the most important time to make a big play? And so the Vikings, they have Jerry Tillery, they have Harrison Phillips, who's a big playmaker down low in the middle, defensive tackle, nose tackle, and then coming on the outside, obviously they have Andrew Van Ginkel, who's a sack master kind of, and then Stephon Gilmore at corner, Cameron Bynum at safety, Harrison Smith at safety. Harrison Phillips is at nose tackle. So Harrison Smith at safety, Harrison Phillips at nose tackle, and then Andrew Van Ginkel at strong side linebacker, and then Blake Cashman at middle linebacker. So they have a lot of guys that can fly around. They have a lot of big defensive players. Stephon Gilmore is a former defensive player of the year. So this defense with Brian Flores really has been holding teams to limited points and being able to score on defense, and just Brian Flores has these guys ready to go, and it's going to be imperative that Matt LaFleur and this offense clicks early, gets on top early, scores some points, kind of takes the defense and offense out of their rhythm for the Vikings, and just keeps this game close. And hopefully the Packers can limit the turnovers, limit the mistakes, which they've been able to do in recent weeks, and come away with the W against the Vikings in Minnesota. like I said, the Vikings are 13-2. The Lions are 13-2. The Packers are 11-4. So if we win this game, we could all potentially win out. Or obviously the Vikings would lose, and I think they play each other after that. So to see who kind of wins. So I don't think the Packers have a chance of winning the division, but they can make a statement against the Vikings, winning a big game on the road against Minnesota, and then obviously they come back home, play the Bears, beat them. We could have 3 teams in the NFC North that have 13 wins. That has never happened before. Obviously, we just went to a 18-week season, 17-game season, so that adds an extra game, so that makes it a little more possible. But even before that, I don't think we ever had 3 teams that had 12 wins, which would kind of be the how it would work out. So for the Packers, let's get this big W, going on the road to Minnesota, playing our best ball. We're as healthy as we can be. We're as healthy as any other team in the league. Hopefully get Jair Alexander back. That's going to be a big puzzle piece moving forward for the Packers at the end of the season and the playoffs. I look for him to come back and play a very, very huge role in our run to the Super Bowl. Hopefully we get there. So go Pack, go. I love this team. I love what this coach brings. I love what this defensive coach brings. I love what our quarterback brings to the team. I love he's never too hot, never too cold, never too up, never too down. He's just even-keeled all the time. And then what our running back, Josh Jacobs, brings to this team, just tenacious, running, just pounded, stiff arm and throwing guys off. He threw Honey Badger and made him look like he was like 15 pounds. Just tossed him to the side like a rag doll. So I love watching these guys. And then Tucker Kraft, obviously, just yak and cheese all day. And then some of the plays that, Wicks and Rome make. And then hopefully we get Watson back and this offensive line playing great. So to me, it's going to come down to, can this defense get stops, make stops, get after Sam Darnold, stop Aaron Jones, kind of, cover Justin Jefferson's. If Alexander's back and this is the one game he plays, then we need him for now. So let's shut down Jay Jettas. Well, I don't want to see no gritties. So, all right, go Pack, go. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you guys next time. Go Packers. Peace.